This is the electromechanical design for the Aegis prototype. The goal of the prototype was to make a very low-cost camera unit and enclosure that could detect mask wearing, social distancing, and other public health measures. So we're going to start with the Jetson nano board here. This is the central processor that we're using. We're doing some convolutional neural network on the software, and so a Raspberry Pi or an Arduino just didn't have the kind of GPU oomph that we needed. The whole thing runs off of a micro SD card you can see here, which we have flashed with a custom OS based on the NVIDIA Core OS that we flashed the drive with. And here's our enclosure. Fairly straightforward. The whole thing was designed using Onshape and 3D printed. The bottom component just has some mounting brackets, and then of course it's got our logo embossed on the back. So what we're going to do first is we're going to go ahead and mount the Jetson board to the base unit with these 4 mounting screws. Okay, we've got a good tight lock. You can see we've got a custom heatsink we've added on here, but for our CPU and GPU intensive purposes, it just wasn't quite enough. So we've got a custom camera unit here. A custom fan that we're using, a Noctua unit from Austria actually. So we'll just go ahead and install this guy with the 4-pin controller here. And this fan will just provide us a little bit of extra cooling on top of the heatsink unit itself. For now, that's a sufficient lock. And then we found this cabling routes nicely just in between these components down here, which we're not doing too much with. Okay, so we've got our base unit assembled, and then the last piece is the camera. There are a variety of cameras you can use here, ribbon cables, USB cameras, as well as just raw pin I/O. We found the ribbon cables to be the best, and there's actually 2 different ribbon cable camera ports. We'll just use cam 1 for now. Click this guy open. Insert the cable and reattach. Okay, and now we've got our camera. This camera, incidentally, has several attachments. I won't put these on here today, but you can see there's an IR filter and just other kinds of extensions you can add to increase capabilities. And then here is our camera front mount enclosure unit. So what we'll do now is go ahead and attach the camera. Now we're going to go ahead and just fasten our camera. Okay, so now we've got our front plate assembled, and so we will put the top of the unit on. And you can see it just fits. This guy actually goes inside here, like so, and then this just fits over these 4 standoffs. And then we would screw in 1, 2, 3, 4 here. And you can see now we've got our whole assembled unit. It's got some vent slits for airflow. It's got, as I mentioned, the logo on the back, and then a little drill out here for power. So there's a barrel jack, or you can just use USB-C, I believe this is, or USB 2, and you just pop that guy in there. You may want to do that before you tighten down the screws. And then we've got our mounting bracket here. This is just an off-the-shelf component that we purchased pretty cheaply. You can tighten this to restrict the degrees of freedom once you've found the sort of direction that you want to mount. And it's pretty nice. It's got full 360, and then of course the unit comes with 3 additional screws and a mounting plate that you can install onto the wall. And that's pretty much the physical design of the camera unit.